Good evening, everyone. Have you ever wondered what Whistler might be like in about 50 years when it reaches 100 years old? A while ago, Isabella gave a speech on this topic at her school, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to take you on a journey to the future, to Whistler in the year of 2068. But before I do that, let's take a quick look back at the last 50 years to see what's changed. The journey from Vancouver has gone from 4 hours to 1.5 in the last 50 years. The old bumpy gravel road my grandparents told me about has been replaced with the amazing sea-to-sky highway. Bigger and faster cars, including electric ones, have replaced the funny old cars they used to drive. Where there was an old garbage dump in the 1960s is now home of the world-famous Whistler Village. Other things we have today that were not here 50 years ago include cell phones that can take photos and play music, helmets, terrain parks, fat skis, snowboards, schools, soccer fields, ice rinks, swimming pools, hotels, restaurants, mountain bike trails, and many other things. Amazingly, 50 years ago, none of those things existed, and no one would have believed you if you told them what was coming. So what about the next 50 years? How different will Whistler be? Can it change as much again? I have a vision of Whistler in the year of 2068 that might seem crazy now, but change happens, and usually faster than you think. First of all, getting to Whistler will be totally different. From the airport or downtown Vancouver, people could be traveling by Hyperloop, a high-speed transportation system that is like a big pipe or tube in which pressurized capsules carry passengers and travel at a super high speed. In the future, such a Hyperloop could go from Vancouver to Whistler in less than 20 minutes. Highway 99 will still be used, but it will look and sound different. Every car will be electric and look so futuristic. No one will actually be driving these cars because they won't have steering wheels. They will all be self-driving cars using navigation systems run by Apple and Google. The best thing of all is that there will probably be no more accidents and no more road closures. In 2066, when you arrive in Whistler, you will notice the resort celebrating the 100th anniversary of Whistler Mountain opening to the public. If you arrive in Whistler in the winter, you may be surprised to see grass and people on bikes. Unfortunately, global warming means that by then, it may not snow much in the valley, but the good news is that mountain biking and golf will be year-round sports. Don't worry, the skiing will still be great, and Whistler will still be #1 in the world. By 2068, there will be lots of new chairlifts, taking you up, over Flute to Singing Pass, and into the Blackcomb backcountry. What might really surprise you will be the new hotels at the top of the mountain. These will be super modern, space-age looking hotels made of glass and steel. There may even be another village up there. Maybe it will be called Whistler 1850 because of the elevation. And it would be reached by a much larger and faster gondola or train? Is my vision of the future right? Will Whistler be that different? One thing is for sure, it will change. Some of the changes we can influence, and others may be out of our control. Personally, I think the older Whistler gets, the harder it will be for it to stay this beautiful and magical. Every year, even at my age, I notice the changes. How the traffic gets busier, the forest gets smaller, the lakes more crowded, and the summer hotter and smokier. I'm not against progress, but there are some things that I wish could stay the same, and Whistler is one of them. But don't be too sad. Change can also be exciting. It is not necessarily good or bad. It's just the future. We just need to try and shape the future we want. Thank you.